In this video, we're going to look at decimals. So we're going to look at adding, subtracting, multiply, and divide, how to do all these decimal type problems. Okay, so we got the addition problem already lined up here. Right? We can see it says 0.07 plus 0.7 plus 0.35. Okay, so really our first thing to make sure that we remember is that 0.7 is the same thing as 0.70, right? So once we have that, and now we got our decimals all lined up, right? 7 plus 0 is 7, 7 plus 0 is 7. Now we got 0.77, okay? Right, sometimes that can be a little tricky. And then our other one will be, now we'll just add the 0.35. Okay, and as we do that, we get a 2, carry a 1, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 3 is 11, so you get a 1 here, and 1 here. You get 1.12. Okay, so that's really just the key, is if you see something like 0.7, is remember that's the same as 0.70, then we can line up our decimal places. Okay, so let's erase that one. That's adding. Okay, subtracting can be a little tricky if they give us something like, what if it's this 0.07 minus 0.7, and again remembering 0.7 is 0.70. Okay, so 0.07 is less than 0.7. Okay, so that means right off the bat we know the answer is going to be negative. Okay, so if you see any positive answers, go ahead and eliminate those. But the easiest way to do this is just reverse it. So, and then we're going to throw a negative on there at the end. So say it's a 0.70 minus 0.07, and we're just doing 70 minus 7, and we would get 0.63. Okay, in this case, because we have the numbers reversed, it's still going to end up with a 0.63 in there. We just got a negative at first, and that's going to be your answer. Okay, so that's how you want to go about doing those when we're subtracting, right? That's usually the trickier one, is if the first number, this one right here, is less than this one, because then you have to know it's going to be a negative. Otherwise, it's just straight up subtraction and throw that decimal point on there. Okay, 2 down, 2 to go. That's addition and subtraction. All right. What do we got for multiplication? Okay, so what if we have something like this? Whoa, what happened? Let's go with the marker, not the pen. 6.3 times 1.4, let's say. Okay, so all we're going to do is just go about multiplying these, but first off, before you even look at math, just so we eliminate some possible mistakes, you're basically looking at like 6 times 1, but a little bit greater, right? So anything that's, if you have an answer choice that's less than 6, make sure you eliminate that right away. And if you have an answer choice that's, like up around, like, I'd say 10 or greater, I would probably be eliminating those as well. And especially anything that's like 12 or 15, is we know this number is, it's going to be, somewhere, just eyeballing it, like somewhere around 7 or 8, right? Maybe as high as 9. Like that's going to be about the range that this answer will be in. Okay, so, but if you're going to go ahead and do the math on this, right, you're just going 6.3 down to 1.4. Okay, 4 times 3 is 12. Put a little 1 up here. We got this. We'll worry about the decimals in a minute. Okay, then I've always put a 0 for the next one. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 6 is 6. Okay, and then we got a 2. 5 plus 3 is 8. And 8. So we got 8.82. Okay, so that seems like that makes sense. We'd be pretty confident we did the math right there on 8.82. That would fit within kind of our range of what we thought a possible answer could be. Okay, But it's not a bad idea to eliminate the crazy answers first, right? Because sometimes, we make a mistake with our math, and then, you know, uh, we go ahead and give that answer. When if we just sort of like looked at it rationally, we could know like there's no way that's the answer. Okay, decimal division is probably the trickiest here, and that it helps quite a bit if you know one little rule. All right, so if we see something like this, 4.8, and we have a whole other video just on decimal division if you want more examples. Seeing these kind of problems worked out. We're going to do 2 problems here though. Okay, so you see 4.8 divided by 0.03, and you can't use a calculator. Okay, so your first thought is, here's how we do it, right? So I go 2 spots over here, 2 decimal places over here. We'll get rid of that little decimal point, and then I got to do the same thing over here, 1 and 2. And obviously, there's only one number to the right of the decimal point, and so when that happens, then we just add a 0 to it. So then what we have is we're just getting rid of the decimal points because it makes it easier to do the math. Then we just have 480 divided by 3. Okay, and when we go 480 divided by 3, we end up with 160. Okay, so for a lot of people, 480 divided by 3 is quite a bit easier than having to deal with all those decimal points. Like, I certainly feel that way. And that's how you do it. So you want to see that one more time with different numbers, right? Just to get kind of comfortable with that's how you get rid of those decimal points is. All right, so like we're there with 0.03, I went 2 spots to the right. And then with 4.8, I also went 2 spots to the right. And then once you've done that, you're done. Okay, so like what about this one? We got 5.6 divided by 0.008. Okay, so right on this one, so we want to get rid of this decimal point for 0.008 first. All right, so it's 1 spot, 2 spots, 3 spots. Okay, so then with 5.6, I go 1, right, and then I don't have any numbers left, so I'm gonna have to go 2 zeros, right, to get that one to order out. So then that looks like 5,600 divided by 8. Okay, and when you divide those out, you come up with 700. Okay, and that's your answer. So hopefully that makes sense. It just takes a little bit of practice. I know it probably seems a little bit crazy when you first see it, that I'm just, taking these decimal points away. But as long as you do the same strategy to both the number to the left of the division sign and the number to the right of the division sign, then it works out just perfect, right? And if you want to test it out, how do I know this answer is correct? So then if I go 700 times that 0.008, I will get 5.6, right? Or if I go 5.6 divided by 0.008, I'll get 700. Okay, anyways, hopefully that helps you guys out.